new opportunities, new beginnings, new trips, new money, and a fresh new coffee, right? So what are we talking about today? How much are drivers really making? How much are Uber and Lyft drivers? How much are food delivery drivers really making on these platforms? So there's a lot of misinformation pushed out, sort of deliberate press releases that are pushed out by the companies that are often very misleading, right? You see this, you're making $37 an hour in New York, or you're making $22 in Tampa, Florida, right? And many drivers report back and say, you know what, that's not quite the case, right? Not really making those numbers. At the end of the day, when I read the comments, when I read the emails, the text messages, people like to talk about their earnings. What are they making on average? What are they making per day, per hour? Let's look at the hourly, right? Let's look at the hourly in your city. So you are more than welcome to put a number in the comment box and say, hey, you know what, I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. I drive on X, or I drive on XL, or I drive Uber Black, or Uber Premium, or exclusively Uber Green, or Uber Pet, whatever you drive on, or Lyft, right? Lyft Lux, for example. This is what I'm making on average in Salt Lake City, in Los Angeles, in Miami. You get the idea, right? Because we need some true numbers that reflect the current times, right? Not what these companies maybe push out in phony or paid for press releases, articles. So I'm reading another article earlier on, and I'm thinking this has to be paid by a company, because the numbers just seem too high. Now, my advice to you, and I keep on repeating this video by video, if you're only on Uber, get on Uber and Lyft in case you get deactivated by one. Sometimes you get deactivated. Get yourself your private license, right? License, so that you can do the combination of private trips and Lyft trips, and start comparing apples to oranges. What am I making on Uber? What am I making on Lyft? What am I making from a private trip? And then you have to crunch the numbers. You have to really, I would say, currently, if you look at 30 days in a month, your highest cost by far, what do you think it is? Yes, gasoline. I'm in a tunnel, by the way. I'm at LAX. I'm heading to Long Beach to check up on one of my cars. So your highest cost, and almost like reoccurring daily cost, is that visit to the gas station, right? So what is that? If you have to factor that in per hour, per week gas costs, per month gas costs, what are you spending? Look at all your expenses, and maybe if you've done the calculations and you're willing to share, and this is for newbies and veterans, we can compare city by city. I can do a follow-up video. Is that before my costs, I'm earning $18 or $20, let's say, per hour on this platform, on that platform. After my costs, right, and costs you have to look at 365 days, because there are reoccurring maintenance costs, like changing your oil, changing your brakes, filling up at the gas station each day, paying your monthly insurance, right? Wear and tear, maybe the little essentials like mints, cleaning costs. And that is, look at it over 65 days and start factoring in all those costs, and really do some math and figure out, what am I really making per. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of drivers, new and old, that are currently not running their numbers. They're grinding it, they sucked into the technology hamster wheel, right, the algorithm, and they just pumping out the trips and they're pumping out the hours per week, output, but you don't take a step back and say, okay, let me start doing the calculations. And now is a really important time to do your calculations, because with gas prices, I filled up at $6.20 per gallon. My average is right. I might still make X per hour, but if I start factoring in all the costs, it's come down considerably. So I just did an interview with Bloomberg. Hopefully they're going to be running that article soon with a lady called Jackie. And she was saying, what patterns are you seeing out there currently? What patterns, driver patterns? And I said, when I hear back, that's the listening part, right? That's what you have these devices for. I mean, I think Dara and Logan, those guys are just missing 2 ears on each body, right? They just don't have these devices. They're incapable of listening or reading or dialing in or tuning in onto street level what's actually going on. I tend to have the ability to do that pretty well, right? To find out, okay, what's happening in that city? What's going on in Vegas? What's going on in Phoenix? What's going on in Los Angeles? What's going on in that category? What's the real talk on the street? And to me, the real talk on the street is people are redoing their numbers, right? People more than ever are cherry picking or doing a combination of various gigs and then doing the research. Where am I earning what? In what time slot? Between 12 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Should I be maybe doing food deliveries? Which company do I do food deliveries with? Which company should I drive on Friday, Saturday nights? Have I gone out and got my private license? Have I applied for my private license? Have I set the money aside for my private license? How many private clients do I have? So when you start reading and you put all the little puzzle, and there's a lot of puzzle pieces, like you can sort of pretend it's like a 5,000 piece puzzle set, right? And then you start getting a clearer picture. And the clearer picture you get from listening, dialing in, listening, reading and listening to feedback. Person sends you an email, it means they want to share something, or they have something new, or they want to contribute something new from their city. Right now, city by city, it really, really, really differs so much. You'll have a driver in a city say, hey, I'm having a great run right now, right? Bonuses, incentives, surges. In this specific city, I'm actually making money. And then you'll have maybe drivers in a little, maybe like in a county like Albany, New York, that are reporting, there's nothing going on here. There's just no money to be made. And you really have to figure out, once you've tried Uber, once you've tried Lyft, once you've tried the different time slots, once you've actually tried to build out your first private client, you start comparing apples, oranges, and pineapples. Where do I get the most juice? Where do I make the most money? In which ratio should I be driving? Should it be maybe 30% Uber, 10% Lyft, and 60% private trips, right? You work out that ratio, you fine tune. Do I do 50% food delivery and 50% rideshare? You fine tune, just like a carburetor, you fine tune your day, your Monday, your Friday, your Saturday, no matter what, you fine tune it, right? Depending on your availability of hours, depending on how many apps and gig apps you have downloaded, you fine tune the maximum output. Where do I earn money? And this is really what this interview on Bloomberg was about. It was, are you seeing drivers explore alternatives? Yes, absolutely I am. And I'm also seeing, and I'm really proud of those drivers, I'm seeing a record amount of drivers signing up to become a private driver. And it's very easy right now to become a private driver, because if you are a rider or a passenger, you are looking at what these different platforms are charging. And if I'm at LAX like it was at the other day, and I need to go to Calabasas, that's in Los Angeles, by the way, that's a 1-hour trip, I am not prepared to pay $550 on the Uber Black platform. I'm just not prepared to pay that for an SUV as a rider, as a passenger. So what are my alternatives? Or maybe I can get a private driver to do it for $200. I mean, you're talking an instant $350 savings in 1 hour. Now that maybe there was a bad example because it was an extremely busy day and they were overcharging riders to the max, right? Hopefully, if somebody took that trip, that 550 trip, I truly hope that the driver got something out of it, like a decent amount, right? But if a rider sees 550 showing up on the screen, switches over to Lyft and sees it for 530, they're pretty much always the same. It's a no-brainer. They are going to maybe contact a friend, hey, do you know of a private driver that can maybe pick me up at LAX, right? So go and explore those options. Now, I can tell you what, I've seen a record amount of signups at gigrocket.com. Not only because drivers were wrongfully deactivated, but because drivers want to explore what a true independent contractor is. You know, when Dara uses the term, oh, you're an earner, right? You're an earner. They don't call us drivers anymore, they call us earners. Or you're an IC plus. And reality is you're actually an IC minus, about a 20 to 30% independent contractor. The other 70% of that independent contractorship you can go and explore when you are your own boss. You have your own LLC, you have your own car, you have your own licensing, you set your own times, you set your own hours, you set your own rates, and only you decide, you know what, I am not going to go and take, you know, that passenger or that private client to that destination because I just feel too unsafe at 2 o'clock in the morning, not going there. And if they don't accept it, tough luck. But there's no retaliation. There's no acceptance rate, right? You're not governed by an acceptance rate as a private individual, as a private driver, as a limo driver. So I want you to go and do the math. Uber, Lyft, private driver. Where should I be spending the most amount of time in a percentage, in a ratio to make the most money? And once I know what I am making hourly on Uber, once I know what I am making hourly on Lyft, once I know what I am making hourly on my private trips. And remember, the private trips, 100% in your pocket, right? Uber and Lyft might be 60% them, 40% you, 50% them, 50% you, sometimes even 70% them and 30% you. You need to know what you are taking out of this game, out of this business, out of this job hourly. And again, there is a lot of misleading information out there on the internet in these blogs. It's because these companies pay other companies or bloggers to write, hey, here's the content, push it out, we'll pay you some money. So it looks official, right? So if truly making, like this one blog said, oh, you're making $37 in New York, well, confirm it. Put in the comments, yes, I actually make $37 an hour. Or yes, I actually make $22 on Uber in Tampa. Put it out there so we can get some true numbers, right? And when you want to talk truth, the one thing you cannot ignore are your costs, right? You cannot ignore gas cost. You cannot ignore the fact that the temporary assistance is pretty much run out, right? On fuel assistance is not really helpful. 45 cents, 55 cents, what is that? It's a joke. It's a slap in the face, right? You have to talk truth. You have to talk the facts. Facts is, reality is, this is what I'm paying on gas right now, today. You know, this is what I was paying on gas, for example, pre-pandemic or during the pandemic. Is it worth it? So in that interview with Bloomberg, with this journalist, it was really talking about, You know, are they constantly reconfiguring their algorithms? Yes, they are. They are, right? Are they constantly refiguring their offers, their incentives, their bonuses? Yes, they are, because they're seeing such a drain. They're seeing so many drivers leave in droves, right? That they say, oh my God, we have to now fill this void. How do we fill this void, right? Well, we got to keep the drivers and we got to keep on recruiting. And by the way, there really is an endless supply of drivers. The question is, how long does the driver stay with the company? You know, is it a week? Is it 2 months? Are they burnt out after 6 months? Or are they willing? Phoenix is in the house. POS Dara, how are you? Phoenix Mayers is in the house. Smacks down $2. I appreciate you. Much love from Cali on a cool Monday. It's cool outside, 65 degrees. I heard the East Coast or the Northeast was going through like a heat wave. Crazy temperatures up there. We used to have those down here in the West, but it's cool down in the West on the West Coast. It seems to be hot on the East Coast right now. So yeah, report on your numbers, real numbers, before costs and after costs, right? And even as a private driver, I have to put all of the costs into, you know, into perspective. Like, okay, I'm paying more for commercial insurance. I'm paying the same gas, making the same, you know, payments on cars, same maintenance as rideshare, private trips, rideshares. You know, there's a lot of costs that are equally shared. There are some costs that are more, but what's definitely more is my earnings per hour and what I'm putting in my pocket. So when we're talking to the Bloomberg lady, yeah, that's why we're seeing a record amount of people going out and educating themselves and exploring, what does it take? What will I need? What tools do I need to become a private driver and make my car, my mobile office work, right? Every month I'm still making those car payments, but the money has to come in to pay for those monthly lease costs, purchase costs, whatever it is, you know, $600, $800, whatever your car payments are, right? The money still has come in. If you've committed to a vehicle for 4 or 5 years, you know, 48 months or 60 months, they expect you to pay each month. Well, if they expect you to pay each month, how do you expect to make the money? So you have to be really street smart. You have to look at your numbers. You have to crunch your numbers and say, what should I be doing? Should I be doing more cherry picking over here? Should I be doing more cherry picking over there? Should I increase my hours over here? Should I decrease my hours there? Should I spend more efforts starting to transfer riders and passengers into my private company and turn them into private clients? Where do I need to apply my energy? Because guess what you are? You are a small business owner, right? Never let anyone tell you or treat you like, Dara, oh, you're just an earner, right? For us, you're just an earner. You earn us some money. No, you're way more than that, right? You have sales skills. You have street smarts. You have your own car. You may have your own LLC. You're doing your taxes. You may be making your own videos and have your own social media channels. You are a little business with the potential to grow into a massive business. Never forget that. Never let anyone ever diminish your value. Don't let anyone ever put you down and say, oh, you're just a driver. Bullshit. You're so much more than a driver. Take it from me. I know you. You know, I know you because I know myself. We're in the same seat, my friends. We're behind the same steering wheel. Some people have 50 steering wheels. Some people have 1 steering wheel. But the bottom line is, what I know, what you know, is that you are a small business owner and you are so much more than just, like, for example, the other day, oh, guy goes, oh, it's just my driver. Well, the truth is, I wish I could tell that person, I'm not only your driver, I'm sometimes your consultant, I'm sometimes your psychologist, right? You are paying me for multiple different reasons. I'm not just your driver, right? You might be a passenger assigned to my limousine company, right? You might be a vendor, right? A vendor company that my company drives you for, right? Drives you from A to B, or to hotels, or to meetings, or to airports, right? You are so much more than just a driver. You're a small business owner. And as a small business owner, you really have to do the math. You really have to crunch the numbers. You really have to figure out, where do I, the private or the small business owner in a combination of rideshare and maybe your own limo company, where do I apply my hours to make the most? Guess what? We are good at that. The way we work, the way we function, the way we calculate, the way we look at our day, we are good at that, right? We are like chameleons. We can adjust. We can adjust far quicker than any of these major companies can, because if they have a meeting and they say, oh, you got to rewrite the algorithm. Engineers, you have a project, get it done in 4 weeks, find a way to extract more money. Then you have a bunch of assholes working and reporting in a 4-week period. We can adjust every 24 hours, right? We can switch, we can mix it up. We can hop from app to app. We can skip hours, we can add hours. We can determine our hours, we can choose hours. We're far more adaptable, we're far more creative. We have way more chameleon skin than these arseholes will ever have. So if you have all those qualities, if you have that tool set, use it. Use it. Use it for your own benefit. Because like I said, you are more than a driver. You are a small business owner with the potential to become a very, very big business owner, right? So never let them diminish your value. Never let them just tell you, oh, it's just a driver. No, I can tell you, I'm way more than a driver. Firstly, I'm a human. Secondly, I'm a husband and a father, right? Thirdly, I'm a business owner. Fourth, I'm a psychologist. I'm an advisor. I'm a consultant. Because that's the skill set you have. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise, right? Oh, he's just a driver. No. So, city by city, and sometimes people transition. They move, from LA to Vegas, or Vegas to Charlotte, North Carolina, because you're constantly adjusting, right? Is the cost of living becoming too much here? Are the numbers not making sense? Do I maybe have to pack up the U-Haul and move to a different city, downsize, upsize? We always can adapt, my friends. Phoenix, you're just a driver. No, you're not a driver. Well, you're just a walker. Yeah. If a rider, I like Phoenix's thinking. What she says, if a rider says, oh, you're just a driver, well, guess what? According to Phoenix, you're just a walker. Exit the car and start walking, or go down to Big Five and buy yourself, or Walmart and buy yourself a skateboard, because I am more than a driver. Happy skateboarding, happy walking, Mr. Pedestrian. You have a lot of power. Don't let them bully you around. Don't let them algorithm you around. You actually have a lot of power. The power to protest. You have the power to strike. You have the power to stand up for yourself. You have the power to go and register your own LLC. You have the power to offload your small Prius and buy yourself a Cadillac, right? Go and get yourself that car right there on the left lane, right? What's stopping you? What's stopping you? What's stopping you from changing your colors as a chameleon? What's stopping you? What's holding you back from not making that switch? Right? Because only you decide. I don't make the decision for you. I can help you. I can, there's a Uber Jeep Lyft, interesting. I can maybe teach you a few things or two. I could give you a couple of tools or a couple of helpful tips and suggestions, but ultimately only you make the big decisions, right? So exploring time, my friends. And when you get into that mode or zone of exploring, like where you feel like, I know I can do better. I know I can do more. I know there is more in me. There's more potential in me that I haven't even tapped into, right? Get in that zone, not the auto zone. Get in that zone and remove yourself from everything and say, okay, let me take a step back here. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I think I'm doing that wrong. I'm improving over here, right? Weigh it all up, because you have the skills, you have the street smarts, and say, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? How do I get from A to B? How do I get from B to C? How do I get from C to D, right? You don't just jump from A to D or A to E. No, it's a ladder, my friends. It's steps. It's steps. Do I offload that car? Do I actually transition from a Toyota Prius to a Toyota Sienna? Do I sell my Toyota Sienna and make the leap or the jump to a Suburban? Do I add this license, right? Do I add this? Do I add that? Should I have magazines in my car? Should I upgrade my waters? Do I switch from Lake Arrowhead to Evian water? You've got to adjust, because what you will notice in the industry is that, yes, you have college students out there budgeting, driving, trying to get 5-6 people in a car into an X, right? Sharing all those costs. But then you also have traveling CEOs, traveling entertainment managers, attorneys, lawyers, company owners, executives, sports stars. Have you even started exploring tapping into that environment? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you some encouragement here. You have the skill set. You have the skill set to cater to a college student. You have the skill set to cater to a CEO. Fact, right? Fact. That is a fact. Absolute fact. You may not have the right car, right? But that can be changed. So going back to the original title of this video, we've covered a lot of territory. What am I earning on Uber and Lyft per hour? What am I spending on average per week, per month, per year? Where do I need to readjust? What do I need to add? Do I need to switch cars? Because currently, right now, today, Monday the, what is it? Monday the 24th or Monday the 23rd? What is today? I think it's the 23rd, right? What am I making today on this Monday? Where am I right now on this Monday? Like, what's my status? What is my state of affairs, right? Do I have the money to put on the table to pay for my kids, to keep the wife happy, to pay for the rent, to pay for the mortgage, to make my car payments, to make my gas payments, to make my insurance payments, to make my educational payments, to make my grocery payments? Real shit, real things from everyday life that you and I can relate to, right? Where am I today on this Monday? And sometimes we're so fogged in, right? We're so fogged in and we can't even think straight. You've got all this weight and all these things going on and you just cannot think. Well, you got to like rip yourself loose of all those chains, all those weights that are pushing you down, right? You need a freaking clear head. You need your pineal gland, you need your pituitary gland to function. Now, because it's thinking time, and I put my thinking cap on. I really have to think about what I'm making on this Monday. Does it make sense? Or am I just so snowed in and so many rocks on me that I cannot even think? I just switch the ignition on and I blindfoldedly just drive 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours, drive. No time to think, No, stop. You have to set that time aside for reassessment, right? For clarity. Cannot just day by day, do the same thing. Stress increasing, weight increasing. Something's wrong, something's unbalanced, right? Where do I balance things out again? It's by literally removing yourself from all those clutter, from all those chains, from all those boulders, creeping out, looking into daylight, get clarity, and start thinking, I have a few hours to do my numbers. I have a few hours to reassess things on this Monday. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I going? What switches do I need to make? Can I afford those switches? What's my game plan to make those adjustments or switches, right? Folks, my friends, my subscribers, we are so hardcore, so resistant. You can load us up with so many different things. Our tolerance level is so high, right? We can take an insane amount of algorithmic abuse, company abuse, right? But ultimately, it starts cutting you down. It starts wearing you down. And where the stress level goes through the roof, where the health starts deteriorating, some people don't even see it. It's happening right in front of them. They refuse to look into the mirror and recognize, who is that guy? Who is that girl? Why have you changed so much? What's wrong with you? Like, why? What's going on? When you eat excessively because you're stressed and you're blocking out, you'll never get clarity. You'll never get clarity. I want to talk about something, Phoenix, lover in my channel, right? J Mills in the house. Mikhail Yazad in the house. Thank you for smacking down 5. I appreciate you. When Phoenix brings up strikes or protests, I was meditating over this yesterday, right? Is that a lot of drivers don't like protesting or striking because understandably, a day like today is going to cost them X dollars. It might cost you $300, and you really need that $300, so you cannot strike. But thank you, hit that like button, smash that like button. What we maybe need to do, right? So we don't shoot ourselves in our own foot, right? You don't shoot yourself in your sneakers or your high heels, right? What we maybe need to do is do what I came up with this term called maybe like a smart striking or smart protesting. And this is it. If you are driving 6 hours a day, right? And you block out a time slot to do those 6 hours. Maybe at the end of the day, you finish your one job and you go out and do 6 hours from 5 to 12 with a little break and a pee break and a dinner break in between, just as an example. What I think we need to do is what I call smart striking, right? If we can lay out a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and say to all drivers, on Monday at 12 to 1, every city, 12 to 1, we don't drive. That means any rider, any passenger looking for a trip during lunchtime, there's nobody on the road. But so you don't lose that hour that 12 to 1, that 1 hour, you maybe tag it on at the end, right? So you'll have maybe more drivers from 7 to 8. But we need to lay out a 7-day plan where we say we strike on specific hours, specific time slots, maybe 4 to 6 p.m. Can you imagine, right? So it's 2 hours, maybe in another hour or 2 hours, and we relocate those 4 hours so we don't lose them elsewhere during the day. We start earlier, we end later, so we don't lose those hours, right? But can you imagine city by city, you start shutting down time slots? No drivers from 4 to 6 nationwide. Shit, how are all these people going to get home? No drivers, 12 to 2 lunchtime. Shit, how are all these people going to get to business meetings and lunches, right? No hours, no drivers, maybe 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning. How do they get to work? So if you strike it 7 to 8, maybe 12 to 1, 5 to 6 p.m. in one day, 3 hours of striking, you make up those hours elsewhere. You drive earlier, you drive later. So you're not losing the hours, you're not losing the income, you are just shutting down the industry collectively, millions of drivers at specific hours, and saying, hey, riders, get ready. Here's the new itinerary. And I would love your feedback. I would so appreciate your feedback if we did a smart strike. Okay, let's get this going together on this Monday. Let's give birth to this idea. Let's brainstorm it. Let's implement it, right? Let's not just talk about it. I don't just like talking about it. Let's implement. Let's create a smart strike where we say Monday to Sunday, right? These hours we don't drive. And FUCK those drivers that say, oh, and there are these arseholes, right? They say, oh, you guys are setting those 3 hours aside, right? I'm going to work those 3 hours. I'm going to make, well, guess what? We're making just the same amount as you are, right? Because we may be sacrificing 3 hours because of time slots, smart striking, but we're making up those hours elsewhere. So effectively, those guys that give the middle finger are not making more than us. We're all making the same money. We are just saying no. We are saying no to specific time slots. No driving 12 to 1, no driving 5 to 6, no driving 7 to 8, for example. Now imagine you do that daily, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Guess what, dear riders? You want to go and travel between 7 and 8 a.m.? No drivers. Guess what, dear passengers? You want to go and travel between 5 and 6 p.m.? No drivers. Guess what, dear passengers? You want to go and drive between 12 noon and 1 p.m.? No drivers worldwide. Get it? And quickly the riders will say, oh my God, these drivers are actually like the guys in India. The guys in India are hardcore. The drivers are hardcore. They could teach us something. They switched off the effing air conditioning and said, screw it, the gas prices are too high. If you want to get in my car, you are paying for my air conditioning. And it made so much noise, it aggravated so many riders that it went all the way up to the government. Government stepped in and started putting insane pressure on Uber. You better change your ways. And they forced these new rules, which are good for the drivers and also ultimately good for the riders, right? But you don't just get there. You have to collaborate, you have to work together, you have to act as a team. So maybe smart striking as a team could really force this company to the knees. Because what I'm seeing is that if we call a protest or a strike on a specific day, there are too many people that say, I cannot sacrifice the 4th of July. I cannot sacrifice Memorial Day because I'm losing $400. But imagine on Memorial Day, this Monday, maybe we start this Monday the 30th, we say drivers worldwide on Memorial Day, so that they that they memorize, that they remember us on Memorial Day. Obviously, you remember all the fallen ones, right? No disrespect, right? All the fallen heroes. You know, Memorial Day is Memorial Day. But maybe the passengers will also have a memorial in their head because they think, oh shit, these guys are striking from 5 to 6 p.m. They are striking from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Maybe they'll remember that. And maybe we have to repeat that smart strike next Memorial Day again. But I think if we did something Monday to Sunday, Indies in the house, no drivers from 1:30 a.m. till 2:30 a.m., the Raleigh area would go bonkers. You see, tsunami-sized surge. So I love it. I love it. You see, this is the feedback that I love. Thank you, Indy. Thank you. Thank you for smacking down 5, and thank you for that fantastic idea. She has come up with a genuine idea, for her market, for Raleigh, right? So it's up to us to say, okay, hey, 1:30 to 2:30 a.m. on those days, we don't, and we gotta do this. We can't have just specific time slots for each city. We have to collectively do it as a whole. Smart striking all cities 3 times a day. 3 times a day. We don't drive during this time slot. We don't drive during this time slot. And we don't drive during this time slot. So dear passenger, get ready for those 3 time slots per day, because we are protesting or striking. Get your bicycle, get your tricycle, get your canoe, get your kayak, get your frickin' surfboard, get your a skateboard, get your electric scooter, or get your feet, get your sneakers, get your shoes out, because you're walking during those 3 time slots. Oh, that'll drive those companies insane, ladies and gentlemen. It'll drive those companies insane. No drivers at that time slot, that time. And guess what? You're losing 3 hours, but you make the other 3 hours up elsewhere. You tag on at the end, you tag on in the beginning. You sacrifice 3 and you add 3. But we stop the industry for 3 hours each day. Texas in the house! Love Texas, Lone Star State, man. Paul Notter's in the house, Big Ed's in the house, shout out, right? So, another thing. As whatever I want to call myself, a YouTube guy or an influencer, whatever you call yourself, right? If you have your own channel, you cannot always be perfect, right? What I simply try and do is channel feedback, listening, watching, observing, learning, growing, channeling back in, educating, right? So it's like fulfillment of the cycle as a YouTube influencer. Constantly, and it's really about educating. Even I, we make mistakes, right? And I sometimes see if there's in a video, I find out quickly if I've made a mistake, right? If I've said something wrong. But oh my God, how quickly some people, and there's just a tiny little percentage of these type of people, blame, criticism. Oh, you're going to lose a subscriber. Okay, is that going to break my back because I lose you as a subscriber because I said something wrong once or twice? No. So my advice to YouTubers is don't get too offended, too upset if you get some criticism, because, praise and criticism is important, right? That helps you grow, that helps you improve, and nobody's perfect. You're not perfect, I'm not perfect, that YouTuber is not perfect, that YouTuber is not perfect, but together we have the ability to grow, learn, educate, things. Smash that like button. We're on 63. Looks like this. Smash it once. Whoosh, smash it again. 63. I am at AutoZone. As you can see in the background there, it says AutoZone. AutoZone. I got to go and get myself some semi-gloss black engine paint right now. I think about $14 a can. I need 2. Smack down $30. Tanny says, question, why since beginning of this month may Uber lower pay? Is this just me or other people affected? Please someone reply. I'll reply to that right away because I have the answer for you. Phoenix says, I'm sincerely sorry, but due to Uber's slave wages are high and high prices, I cannot afford to run the air conditioning. I love it. Sorry, I can't run the air conditioning because you're not assisting me. You're not helping out with your earning cuts. Okay, so to that question, the last quarterly announcement, both Uber and Lyft saw their ass. You saw their stocks dive. The investors were pissed. Dara needed to explain. Logan needed to explain what's going on. So they go in blow mode, right? You know, they blow the investors like this. Yeah. Dara, investor, right? They go into blow mode and they try to please these investors, right? And they say, oh, yeah, we need to up the profits. How do we up the profits? We cut from the drivers. Remember May? You're seeing that pattern. We cut, and they're going to keep on cutting, and they're going to keep on losing drivers, and we increase rider rates. Roulette wheel. Let's spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Whatever happened to Rideshare Revolution? Is he still alive? He loved YouTubing and all of a sudden completely drops off the map. Yes, that is a good question. I hope he's alive and well. I hope he comes back. I do think he has a very, very high entertainment value. And looking at his market in Chicago, he really knows his stuff in Chicago. I think it was like really a go-to channel. And I'm talking about Geo. And I've headbutted with Geo many times, right? Don't get me wrong. Him and I we've had our brawls. But at the end of the day, after all those fights and headbanging, I gotta say, you're not gonna get better value for the Chicago market than Rideshare Revolution or American Gigolo, whatever he calls himself. The most handsomest, beardest driver. I think that's how he starts the videos. And I truly and honestly can say that after all the headbanging, that he brings tremendous value to that market. And I think that's what created his own niche, because he just became such a go-to figure for that market, right? And what I also liked, praise, is the ability to show more than just rideshare, right? He then, I believed, he started working on TaskRabbit, and he was talking about tasks, right? I did this task, I earned that in these hours. So, man, I think that had he carried on with those tasks or TaskRabbits, he did a lot of like tasks and jobs and showed people how to optimize those tasks, how to select those tasks, how to work those tasks, TaskRabbit. I mean, you know, guy should have 50, 100,000 subscribers, because when he was applying himself to Chicago, when he was applying himself to TaskRabbit, I mean, you're bringing tremendous value to the people, right? Oh, follow this guy, watch this guy, learn from this guy, and then I go out and make money. He's literally showing people in his market and maybe on TaskRabbit how to make money. That has value. So, you know, that's the praise. That's the praise. Roulette wheel. You have a good point. So maybe. So he says he was talking in one video how dangerous it is in Chicago. No doubt, it is a very, 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 very dangerous city to drive to in Chicago. Right. So is Philadelphia, for example. So are certain areas. Flo Kundler in the house, smacks down a $20 note. Dara, get it together. Dara, get it together. My brother Flo smacks down a 20. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. And love your family. Flo is the greatest family. Sweetest kids, sweetest family. Cheers from my family to yours. Get it together, Dara. From Flo Kunle in the house, right? Now, to finish off the subject, because somebody asked, maybe he's not driving because it's too dangerous in Chicago. Hey, that could very well be why he stopped driving and reporting on Chicago. It could truly have become too dangerous for him. God forbid, I hope nothing happened, right? If something happened, I think we would have heard. But, you know, if you make the decision to stop driving in Chicago because your safety, your life is more important, well, that's a good decision, right? So maybe that was the deciding factor. Another theory that I have, right? If someone vanishes for a while, right? They go dark, they go cold. Maybe they re-emerge with new, better content, a new direction, right? Like a relaunch, a rebrand. So who knows? The mystery of Geo. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, right? Like I hope if Geo comes across this video, is that like our last parting, our last conversation was left on a good note, right? On a good note. The other guy, he knows who I am. If I run across that guy, it's game on. No names mentioned. It's not Geo, someone else. Lincoln Auto. Oh, now I need, gosh, they're sending me part. Now I need to order parts. Even if he got deactivated, you're right. Even if he got deactivated, he would have updated the community. That's why I guess there's this element of worry what happened to Geo. I just really hope nothing happened to him health-wise. I hope nothing happened to him in as far as an injury or an accident. I wish that, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I'd wish that on Putin, on the Russian president. I'd wish the worst, right? Not to elaborate, but I would not wish that on my worst enemy. You know, any illness, any injury, cancer, I wouldn't do that, right? Except for one guy, maybe, Putin, right? But that problem will take care of itself. I believe he has blood cancer. I'm not talking Geo. I'm talking about that guy running Russia. It's Moose says rideshare revolution. What about rideshare revolution? You know, I mean, we're on the topic of rideshare revolution, and I'm sure this will go back to Geo. Geo, if you are out there, there's a lot of caring people, including myself. We hope you are well. We hope you come back with a vengeance. We hope you dive back in, because you did bring this community a lot of value, and I think the community is expecting that value, right? My personal beef, my personal, you know, headbanging, I regard that as over, right? What's done was done, what's said was said. You start clean slate, right? But yeah, I do hope if he's listening, he comes back, because his subscribers, his friends, his supporters, his followers are almost wanting and demanding it, that he comes back, right? So we cheers to Geo. We hope he is well. We hope he is alive. We hope he has become extremely successful, that he might not have to go on YouTube, but just hop on and update your friends, your community, right? Because they're in the dark. Jason, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. There was a time, you know, I work in very different ways, right? I don't want to say too much, but, you know, my background in the army, I worked for the intelligence. I work on a little different way. That's all I can say, right? You know, I did my degree, my master's in psychology. You work over in intelligence, you put one and one together, and you figure shit out, or you figure out solutions, right? That's how I just operate. But I would never ever mean harm or ill to some person, right? I'd want to see people succeed even if people readjust or take a step back. Look at Johnny Depp, right? Look at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Look at that shit show playing out on trial. Well, why do you think this is all going down? Because the guy wants to make a comeback. Nobody wants to hire him for movies, right? He's not getting any movie roles. And he says, you know, I still have so much to contribute. I still have so much to offer. I want to get back into the industry. But before I get back into the industry, I have to clear my name. So maybe Johnny Depp reemerges in a few months' time in an amazing movie where he can show his skill set. Hopefully Johnny Depp learns from, because they're both. It's a dysfunctional relationship, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Dysfunctional, both of them, right? It's not a healthy relationship. It's a lose-lose relationship, right? It's an addict with another addict. Doesn't end well. Spirals downward. Well, this spiraled so far downward that it's ending up in court. You're seeing all the dirty laundry. All the stories are told. No holding back. No punches. She said, he said, he said, she said. But what Johnny Depp ultimately wants to do, I think, I don't know about Amber Heard. She just marries rich. She marries Johnny. She marries Elon Musk. She extracts cash in my eyes. I have no time for her. But when I look at the raw, pure talent of Johnny Depp, yeah, is he an arsehole? Yes, he is. Is he arrogant? Yes, he is. Does he have talent? Insane talent. Does he want to make more movies? I'm sure he does. But he has to get his name cleared first. He may reemerge. Just like Gio might reemerge, right? So never count someone out. Never count someone out, right? Robert Downey Jr., alcoholic, addict, came back, insane money, clean, no alcohol, superstar, right? But people had given up on Robert Downey Jr. Came back, Iron Man, made a shitload of money. Indy says, Johnny can date me. I'm a widow and I love his poetic soul. Oh, that's good. So that's a compliment from you to Johnny. And you go in, Indy, you start dating Johnny, and it might be extremely functional. It might become dysfunctional. Maybe you separate. Maybe you stay together forever. I'm just saying, like, you look at the dynamics of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, a recipe for disaster, victim, crazy, addict, boom, throwing, spitting, smacking, boxing, shit, they're both to blame. Both of them. So we should be very careful when we put information out. Somebody says, I think something bad happened to Gio. YouTube was his crack, and he wouldn't just disappear for no good reason. Now, that is speculation. That's what you think. I just don't try and think of the worst, right? I'm not in the mindset where I think, oh, I think something really bad happened to Gio. I'm looking for the positives. I think that maybe takes a step back. Maybe there's some family issues. Maybe it's reassessing where you are in life, right? I agree. The YouTube can be like crack, right? It can be like crack. It can draw you back in. But let's not pass judgment. Let's not point fingers until we know the truth, the true picture, right? It's the same with it's the same thing with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Let's not pass judgment until we've listened to all the dirty laundry, and then we can make up our minds. I've sort of made up my mind after 3 or 4 weeks of watching sound bites here and there that they're both crazy. And I don't know who's going to come out with the victory. Is he going to get the $50 million settlement? Is she going to get the money? Is he going to get the money? Does he save his reputation? Does she save? I don't know. They're both crazy. They're both loco. You see, now, Kai says, recently heard on YouTube he's doing really well. He has a lucrative business, making great money. And I hope that's true. And that if so, that's fantastic, right? Because I can tell you firsthand, there is a lot of money to be made here. You just have to go and tap into it. Or you have to take that skill set that you've learned and apply it elsewhere. Maybe YouTube was not making him the proper money, right? Maybe he was better off not putting the hours into YouTube, but going out and applying it elsewhere and building up a lucrative business. If so, excellent, congratulations, good for him. Deserves it. Because at least here in the United States, input equals output. What you put in, my friends, is what you're gonna get out. If you lie on the couch, don't expect anything to happen. But if you're willing to go out there, educate yourself and explore, you can make a shitload of money in the United States. No doubt. You need a shitload of coffee to get you there. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Go and get yourself a display ride, uploads all the footage and the sound into the cloud. Right, did you see that girl the other day that bit the guy? Tries to steal his phone. He tries to hold on to the phone and she bites him. Do you see that mark she left? Tetanus. I mean, it's swole up tetanus. Listen, I don't care if you're a girl or a guy, right? That's not the reason to shut down at that moment. If a little kid bit you in the arm, you slap them silly. Just make sure you don't kill them, but slap them silly, right? And guess what? You've caught everything on camera. He had everything on his dash cam. I don't think he had display ride, but he had everything on his dash cam. That girl's boyfriend did not want to get in the car because he knew there was a dash cam. He was smart. He's like, I am not putting my face in that car because there is a dash cam. That may have saved him. She, on the other hand, was stupid. She even verbally to the camera, looking at the camera, said stuff that completely shuts it down. Roulette wheel, spin it. We spin you right round, baby, right round like a roulette wheel, baby, round, round. Thank you, roulette wheel. Great contributions today. I got to go out and work. It is now 10:30. My mechanics are expecting me. I got to hustle. It's a Monday. We got to go make cash. I want to get these cars on the road, these classics on the road. I want to be able to show you videos of the progress. We're on 87. Tres por favor. Phoenix smashes down another 2. The mic isn't so good, but I like display ride. Good point. Can we have tres, 3, dos por favor, 2 bitte German, 2 alsjeblieft, Dutch, 2 s'il vous plaît, français, French, 2 please, English. Smack it down. We're on 88. I need another 2. Get me to 90. And let's talk about Yego's in the house. Let's talk about smart striking, right? Was born and originated in this live stream with the help of you guys. We came up with this concept of smart striking. Let's talk about that. Let's make another video. Somebody remind me, hey, right here, Professor, make a video about smart striking. We can start this. We can start this next week. We're on 92. Thank you. Gracias. Merci. Dankeschön. Dankjewel. Spasiba. Bingo! Jazz J in the house. Jazz J. And go back to the title of this video. What are you earning per hour? Before costs, after costs. Whether you're in Long Beach City, whether you're in New York, in the Bronx, whether you are in Tampa, Florida, whether you are in St. George, Utah, report what you are making per hour. We're 94, man. I know we can get 6 more. I know we can get 94 to 100. If you have not hit the button, it looks like this. It looks like a little thumb. Smash that like button. Smash it hard. We're on 94. Anybody in there that hasn't? Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Good to see you, buddy. Jazz J in the house. Avec plaisir, Jazz G. Avec plaisir, monsieur. We're on 98. Junkyard Mechanic William in the house. Smacks down 2. That's what I need 2 to get to 100. 2. Junkyard plus 2. We're We're 100. We're on 98. Where is 1999? Where is 99? 99. Who's number 99? Who's number 99? Who's number 100? Who's number 99? Who's number 99? Who's number 100? We're on 99. Just did it. 95. Chris is in the house. Who's number 99? Who's the number 100? I make 2,100 to 2,500 a week in San Diego. Killing it. The ride-share king. The ride-share king. The crown. The ride-share king. How many hours, brother? What platform? How many hours? We're on 101 Dalmatians. Walt Disney. 101. Smashed like a ride-share king. San Diego. Shout out to San Diego. Shout out to Paul Figueroa for getting back on the platform after they deactivated you for 72 hours. Screw them, F them. He fought back. Back on the platform, baby. All right, I'm going to leave on a high note because there's nothing better than leaving on a high note. We're on 101. I appreciate you. I love you guys all. Respect you. Your feedback, your suggestions, your input is like ultra valuable. That's what builds this channel, right? It's a collective team effort. It's not me. I'm not a one-man show. We're a family of gig workers. Sharing is caring. We're looking out for each other. We're growing with each other. We're helping each other. We're supporting each other. We fund GoFundMes. We help drivers out of problems. We solve problems. We're problem solvers. We have tools. We have a toolkit that the companies don't have, right? Sethian's in the house. Dark Swan. Most nights it's 30 to 40 an hour, making 2,100 a week. Damn! That's what I say to that, right? Go for it, baby. Go for it, go for it, go for it, right? Just watch the video from the beginning. Take the time, reassess things. And we are chameleons. We are smart. We have the skills. We are street smart. Now go figure it out. Like, what's the next step? A to B, B to C, C to D. You might be on C. You need to get to D, right? You can't go A to E. You can't go A to F. Take a baby steps, right? Baby steps. Learn, adjust, grow, learn, adjust, grow, learn, adjust, grow. Ba-dup, 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 ba-dup. Not like the stock. This is you. This is the stock. Right? Be safe, my friends. Be safe, my amigos. Uber XL, good platform. Toyota Sienna, that's all I can say. Favorite car on the XL platform. Sharing is caring, my friends. Put it out there. Keep it coming. Now we're off to this little thing in the corner here. AutoZone. Shout out to AutoZone. They're not one of my sponsors. They should be. AutoZone. One more Taco TV. I'm learning all the time from, hey, works both ways. I'm learning every single day. Every feed I learn. LA says $29 an hour. Right? Let's get the real numbers. Right? Share the real numbers, not what they pay these bloggers to put out there. There's a lot of fake blogs. Oh, you can make this, you can make this, you can make that. No, give us the real juice, the real extracted juice in this channel. What are you making per hour in your city on what platform? Hey, my name is Jack. I'm on XL. I am making $20 an hour in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Thank you all. Have a good one. Take care. Happy Monday! Monday fun day. Go out and make cash. Have a great week. Lots of hugs to your fam. Thank you, and thank you again.